Well, the obvious answer is to make a living. But that's not the whole story. If work was only about survival, we couldn't explain why some people gain energy and well-being from their jobs, while others feel detached or even exhausted. Positive psychology offers an interesting explanation here with the PERMA model by Martin Seligman. The PERMA model describes 5 building blocks, and they're all meaningful for our well-being. Positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. All are important at work, but I would like to highlight 2: meaning, so having a sense of purpose, and relationships, feeling connected to the others. Together, they create a sense of purpose, so the feeling that what you do truly matters. Research shows that people who feel this sense of meaning are much more healthier, they are much more engaged, and they are much more productive. In this video, we will focus on one of those building blocks, and in particular, it is meaning. So, meaning is a key psychological factor. If you see your work as meaningful, you identify much more strongly with your tasks and find them personally significant. In our complex working world, that's really a valuable resource. But meaning doesn't just fall from the sky, it's created through action. It's about how we understand and influence our role. And this leads us to a very crucial tool, which is called job crafting. Job crafting means actively shaping your work so it fits your strengths, your values, and your motivations better. Meaning doesn't just come from your job title or tasks, but from how you shape your everyday work. And there are 3 forms: task crafting, so changing what you do; cognitive crafting, changing how you see your work; and last, very much not least, relational crafting, changing how you connect with the others. These 3 approaches let you find more meaning, more engagement, and finally more performance, even in existing jobs. With task crafting, you adapt your tasks to fit your strengths or make processes more efficient. And studies shows these tweaks boost engagement, satisfaction, and performance. Even small changes can motivate you and give your work more meaning. Yes, this might happen, and then cognitive crafting can help. In cognitive crafting, you change your perspective and ask yourself why your work matters. Meaning isn't about doing more, it's about understanding your role and your contribution much more differently. Really realizing the impact you have, this increases your sense of meaning at work a lot, but also your satisfaction with your performance. And this satisfaction then spills over into your personal life, and this is a really good thing. When people know they have used their time well and have done a really good work, it's easier to mentally switch off after work, enjoy your free time, and feel good about your weekend. So work doesn't linger as unfinished business, it feels really complete and done. Work is always social, and meaning comes from feeling connected and having a positive work environment. In research, this is called relational crafting, so actively shaping relationships and teamwork. Employees can, for example, organize regular team meetings or birthday celebrations or whatever, because relational crafting can also mean networking with people in other teams, and this increases company-wide collaboration, and it buffers weaker connections within your own team as soon you have it. A positive team atmosphere and mutual support boost both meaning and engagement. And studies shows people who consciously build relationships are more likely to go beyond their job description, and this phenomenon is called extra role engagement, which is a big boost for team culture. Autonomy. So the freedom to decide on tasks, on working styles, on schedule, on whatever, it is the foundation for meaningful work. The more room to maneuver you have, actually, the easier it is to set your own priorities and to stay motivated and healthy and successful at the end of the day. Autonomy creates opportunities for proactive behavior, and engagement then increases the likelihood that people will build relationships, they take over responsibility, and they get socially involved. Together, at the end of the day, autonomy and engagement coming out of this make job crafting and a sense of belonging possible. Psychology identifies three main types of autonomy. First, there is the method autonomy, which means you proactively decide how to approach your tasks, planning a project in what way of ever, digitally or on paper. And second, there's a scheduling autonomy. You personally decide when to work, on what tasks. For example, you probably prefer doing important tasks during your most productive hours. And lastly, there's also the criteria autonomy. It means that you influence the goals, the priorities, and how you work. A quick example, a marketing team decides together what counts as a success for a campaign, and then how to organize the work in different phases. In a nutshell, it means the more freedom you have, the more you can practice actually a meaningful job crafting. So this is where self-leadership comes into place. So this the ability to actively manage yourself and proactively also shape your work through self-set goals. This is amazing. So studies shows that self-leadership is actually really the engine for job crafting. Those of you who practice self-leadership consciously shape tasks and start social interactions much more often. And this increases task significance, the deep feeling that your work truly matters. Self-leadership also gives you the resource for high engagement and lets you truly experience your impact in the big picture of your company you're working at. Well, often we are missing the flow, which is a state of deep concentration and productivity. Flow happens when you avoid distractions like emails or phone calls or whatsoever, and we know flow makes you more satisfied, more productive, and less stressed. Three things make a flow more likely. First, clear goals and feedback. You know what you're working toward and get the feedback on your progress. Second, a good challenge. So the task isn't too easy, but it's also not too hard, but really challenge you most in the really right amount. And third, again, autonomy. You decide how to tackle the task and can focus on it without any interruptions. Constant interruptions and unclear goals make a flow impossible, actually. So schedule regular focus times without meetings, without any emails. Let your team know about these times so they can support and respect your need for your focus. Time tracking gives you an overview. It strengthens your freedom in planning and makes focus time so much more visible. It helps you to set the priorities and intentionally create spaces for tasks, for moments that really matter for you and for all the other employees as well. People who are able to manage the time more consciously, work more independently, they are more happy and they are really much more healthy. And this creates the best conditions for using job crafting and to find more meaning at the work at the end of the day.